Hi, I'm Nesheiwat, and I'm guest hosting this episode of the Green Revolution Show. I'm here today with Dr. Mann, the climate scientist who created the famous hockey stick graph, showing the massive rise of temperatures in our atmosphere, which revolutionized the way that we communicate about climate change. Dr. Michael E. Mann is an author and a distinguished professor of atmospheric science at Penn State. He was named by Scientific American as one of the 50 leading visionaries in science and technology. He contributed with other IPCC authors to the award of the 2007 Nobel Peace Prize. Bloomberg News ranked him as one of the 50 most influential people in 2013. Dr. Mann, thanks for being on our show.
Thank you, Amanda. Great to be with you.
Even as a prominent scientist in the field of climatology, you've also spent a lot of time on policy recommendations to curb emissions. Can you talk about a couple of policies that you'd like to see happen?
Sure, and I sort of see my role as a scientist with expertise about climate change and the risks that come with climate change. My role in the policy sort of discourse I see as being to inform our policy debate, to make sure that our discussion of policy solutions is based on an objective assessment of the risks that are involved, and rather than trying to prescribe the precise policy formulations for solving the problem, I think it's important to lay out, the broader picture. What do we need to do? There is amazing progress that's already taking place right now when you look worldwide and here in the United States as well, when it comes to the transition away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy. We're already moving dramatically in that direction, and that's sort of the natural direction that the marketplace is leading us. The age of fossil fuels is coming to an end.
Right, coal's not coming back.
No, it's not coming back. The Stone Age, they say, it didn't end for want of stones.
Yeah.
It's not because we ran out of stones. And the fossil fuel age isn't ending because we're literally running out of fossil fuels. It's because we've found something better, something cleaner, something that makes a whole lot more sense. It's wind, it's solar, it's geothermal. And that's the direction the world is moving. And that's the direction we are moving, even with a president who opposes action on climate and a Congress, a Republican Congress that currently opposes action on climate. There's so much progress taking place at the state level, in states like California. My friend Jerry Brown has taken a real leadership role, and the Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, who may be the next governor of California, is a real leader on this issue. He gets it. He understands that climate change is a threat to all of us. California is there. The West Coast states have joined in a coalition, Washington, Oregon, California, the northeastern states, along with New Jersey and New York and Maryland, and we're hoping Pennsylvania pretty soon. Another consortium of states that has agreed, look, we've got to put a price on carbon, we've got to level the playing field, because when we burn carbon, when we put carbon pollution into the atmosphere, we're doing real damage to the planet. And there has to be a price signal for that. That has to be taken into account in the cost-benefit analysis that takes place when we incentivize energy options economically. And so we need to put a price on carbon. We need to provide incentives for renewable energy to accelerate that transition. The transition's already happening.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If we're going to stabilize warming below truly catastrophic levels, we can't just wait for natural market forces to bring us in the direction we need to go. We have to accelerate that transition, and we can do that with a price on carbon. Should it be a carbon tax? Should it be cap and trade? Should it be a feed-in tariff like Germany uses, where you provide explicit incentives for renewable energy? There are lots of ways to level the playing field in the energy marketplace, but that's what we need to do. We need policies that will incentivize people to make the decisions that they would like to make anyways, right? There's a lot that we can do from the standpoint of voluntary measures. There are lots of things we can do in our lives that reduce our personal carbon footprint, and they save us money, and they make us happier and healthier, and that's part of the solution. But we need to incentivize that behavior. Economists understand that if you want people to move in a direction, you make sure there's a price signal, that there are incentives for them to move in that direction. So we need those marketplace incentives, level the playing field, accelerate that transition that's already underway, bring those carbon emissions down towards zero over the next couple decades. It's still doable, and if we do that, we can stabilize warming below what we think are truly catastrophic levels. Now, we're already seeing some bad stuff happen, so we can't avoid some dangerous climate change impacts. But we can make sure that we avert the worst, truly devastating and potentially irreversible changes in climate by acting now. And part of that means showing up at the voting booth.
That's right.
To elect politicians who will vote for climate-friendly policies rather than simply do the bidding of fossil fuel interests.
Right. Or even say that, fossil fuels are cheaper because no one realizes, or not many people realize, that it's subsidized. Petroleum is subsidized. That's why plastic is so cheap. That's why fuel is so cheap. And if we can just have the same kind of, capitalistic mentality when it comes to renewable energy, I think that you're right. We can swiftly and efficiently switch to using more clean technologies.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, right now we have these perverse incentives in the marketplace where we're actually providing subsidies for carbon pollution, fossil fuel energy, which is producing this carbon pollution, which is doing damage to our economy, to the planet, and not providing the same subsidies for the clean alternative, renewable energy. It's absolutely astonishing. It's ridiculous. We need to shift those incentives, and that will accelerate, again, the transition that's already underway. We are leaving the age of fossil fuels. We're entering the age of renewable energy. Let's accelerate that transition, make it even faster.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Dr. Mann, for coming on to our show. It's been really interesting. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And we'd like to tell our viewers to
subscribe to stay alive.